Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm your host, FD465.tv, bringing you another episode of our Crypto Weekly Updates. This is where we go through the crypto markets, current affairs, find out what's hitting the headlines, and bring it all to you guys, obviously with our own perspective. So guys, this week's Crypto Markets Update episode is paired with some mind-blowing items alongside an extremely bullish crypto market. With Bitcoin on the charge, I think it's just gone past $47,000 briefly during the time of recording. What we have for you this week includes news on BlackRock's Bitcoin accumulation, where are we now, and who is staying very close to BlackRock's Bitcoin accumulation as Wall Street's spot Bitcoin ETF space evolves, and we may or may not share with you when we think BlackRock could overtake MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings, so keep watching. I'm sure that item might keep Michael Saylor awake. He's quaking in his boots. No, that guy is a proper degen. He will never quake in his boots, I can tell you that. What target do we have for Bitcoin in the short term? And here I'm talking of the next 4 to 8 weeks, which is about the same time left until the next Bitcoin halving. After that, my crystal ball goes blank. Joking, of course, I do not have a crystal ball. Just making some forecast based on a set of assumptions. We also have some old news hitting the headlines again for Solana. What were those headlines and what could happen next? So if you want to watch that for Solana, keep watching if you want to know what it's all about. We also have news on Injective's upcoming collaborations, which I think are going to be game-changing. And finally, we also share our thoughts on crypto airdrops in general and what this could mean for you and me. So before I proceed, guys, let's do some housekeeping first. Quickly, guys, not financial advice. If you're from the UK, this video is not intended for UK viewers. The authorities are trying to protect you in case you lose your funds. If you're from the rest of the world, welcome to the channel. Please consider subscribing to our channel. And we now also have a Patreon channel where we are trying to add some more content. We are going to be putting some videos that will be exclusive to the Patreon alone. At the moment, it's still free. So go check it out and see if you can benefit from there as well. Anyway, back to the subject matter of this week's crypto updates. Let's start with BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. At this rate, BlackRock are more and more looking like a genius to their investors who are buying their spot Bitcoin ETF. Based on current prices, Bitcoin has gone up by around 15% from when BlackRock started accumulating Bitcoin in larger volumes. Here I'm using 41K as their base cost. Again, it could vary. And this has got to be the great news for everyone else within the space. Yes, the IBIT shares themselves have remained muted. They will likely grow in price as the price of Bitcoin accelerates to the upside. As of the 7th of February 2024, BlackRock now holds just over 78,000 Bitcoins, and this is probably higher now at the time of recording as they are still accumulating. As the wider spot Bitcoin ETF marketing increases from all the participants, we are most likely going to see a near parabolic increase in demand, which means the race of Bitcoin accumulation we currently see for this group of 11 ETF providers will only get better and better. It is also important to note that not all spot Bitcoin ETF providers will come out winners. They all can't win, can they? Say this time next year. Whether we actually see dropouts is another matter, but Franklin and Templeton and Wisdom Tree are in serious danger, especially Wisdom Tree. I'm sure they will come through. After all, these entities employ some of the smartest people around, so maybe it's early days yet to make such a call. So as usual, for the time being anyway, Greyscale still lead in terms of holdings, and they hold Bitcoin worth just over $20 billion, followed by BlackRock, who own Bitcoin worth around $3.31 billion. And in third is Fidelity, who now hold Bitcoin worth around $2.7 billion. And ARK Invest and 21 shares are in fourth, and they hold Bitcoin that is worth around $717 million. And they are followed by Bitwise, who now own Bitcoin worth around $672.4 million. And you got the rest. What's worth noting though is that Greyscale's volume is now being dwarfed by BlackRock's volume, which is what you want to see. This could suggest that Greyscale's selling pressure is being absorbed at worst, and at best, it may be coming to a halt, which will be great news across the board. At this rate though, I'm expecting BlackRock to overtake MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings by the end of the year. Now, that will be huge since we are not expecting institutional inflows to come into Bitcoin until sometime during the first quarter of 2025. So whatever funds are flowing into Bitcoin at the moment, these are not coming from the much anticipated institutions. That is most likely going to come maybe November, December, but definitely first quarter of 2025. Could this be the most explosive crypto bull run ever? Not long left now until we know. So let's keep watching. As for Bitcoin's price in the short term, I'm looking at a price of between 60,000 to 70,000 by the time we reach the Bitcoin halving. Some people are not expecting that, but I am expecting such a move because I think the squeeze from Bitcoin is getting stronger and stronger, and there is not that much Bitcoin left apart from swapping from Greyscale to the other 11 spot short Bitcoin ETFs. So yes, those numbers 60 to 70k is very possible. And could we also see lower prices by the Bitcoin halving? Also yes. Why? Because the markets will always do what the market wants. After all, we are all passengers on this roller coaster. Now on to some Solana news. Having gone for several months without any outage, the Solana blockchain suffered its latest downturn on the 6th of February 2024, which lasted for approximately 4 hours 46 minutes. Now, some may say, well, this is an improvement from the previous incident, but that is not the point. A decentralized network should not be behaving like this, and the fact that a group of people can just come together and agree to turn the network back on is surely a cause for concern. Prior to this latest blackouts, the last one was from February 2023, so it's almost like an annual thing, isn't it? February is the time it switches itself, or someone has got a switch to switch it off. And that one from last year in February lasted 18 hours 50 minutes. And that is not the worst. The worst blockouts actually happened in 2022, in January of 2022, where the Solana blockchain suffered these downtimes on 9 different occasions for extended periods, 9 different occasions or days in 1 month. That's a lot. And that's not far off. It's only, well, about 2 years ago. I suppose, since the SOL price barely reacted to the latest downtime, the Solana community has come to terms with the Solana blockchain's weaknesses and its travails, and these network blackouts will not shake them. They remain unmoved. But what could come next? Well, I'm going to speculate that at some point in the future, we may see a new Solana blockchain that will come to replace the current one. That has been done before, and I can't see why not. That's how most blockchains, actually, Ethereum did that, from proof of work to proof of stake. Yeah, they did that. It was a new blockchain. What changes will they potentially make to the current one? Not sure, but I hope if they do indeed go for such an option, that they choose something that runs consistently with no downtime at all. After all, they do have a loyal community, so this could be the least they could do. Any thoughts, guys? Should the Solana Foundation create a new blockchain to replace the current one? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Next, let's move on to Injective's latest updates and collaborations. Now, the Japanese yen, which is the official currency of Japan, the country that is, and third most traded globally, accounting for a daily average volume of $1.2 trillion, is now launched on Helix, a decentralized exchange built on Injective. And if you want to know our thoughts around Injective, there will be a video appearing on our Patreon channel around Injective and Helix. Please go watch that to see if you can learn something. I think you'll find it fascinating. The introduction of the Japanese yen on Helix means users of the app can now have the unique opportunity to trade a tokenized version of one of the world's most prominent fiat currencies entirely on-chain. The tokenization of the Japanese yen was made possible through the collaboration with Cables Finance, a decentralized exchange integrating currency rails from traditional finance into crypto. Cables Finance will help to provide institutional-grade liquidity to on-chain yen market. And to end this week's episode of our weekly crypto market review, we would like to share our views on airdrops. Yes, hot topic. 2024 will most likely be known as the year of the airdrop. Yes, we like them at present as they present free money, but in all honesty, with no fresh fiat injection, this simply dilutes asset values already in existence. Don't you think? Anyway, that's my take anyway. These airdrops are made of tokens created from thin air in most cases, and they are given away to communities for trading. And I think that's where probably the value comes from. Granted, some of the projects will have raised capital from private investors, which is real money, which means that the initial investments are being diluted to an extent, but then those investors will require some exit liquidity and some returns as well. And that's where the so-called communities come in, which is mostly retail, isn't it? That said, there's nothing wrong with airdrops and the model. I just wish crypto influencers across the board, from Twitter to YouTube, they should refrain from calling this a new injection of liquidity into the markets, because it's not new injection. It's almost like phantom money. At best, it is just recycled cash from one asset to another with no immediate growth. The pie itself, the pie remains the same size. We're just mixing things inside it. My thoughts, of course, are not financial advice. What do you think about airdrop? Let me know in the comment section. Until the next update, guys, this was your weekly crypto market review with your host, FD for surpassed.tv. Signing out for now. Bye.